Hey everyone, welcome back to the Not Morning Show. I am one of your hosts, Kaleb Koho, and with me again, as always, is my Iowish counterpart, Caleb Boatman. How you doing, Boat?
I am the non-union Iowa equivalent of Caleb Koho. Hello, I'm doing very good.
It's been a minute since we've actually done this. It's been like 2 weeks. What is new with you?
What's new with me? Okay, so a funny thing happened today. So, we know each other from movie trivia, and I work, as I mentioned last week or 2 weeks ago, I work at an assisted living facility. So what happened today was we normally need an activity like at 2 o'clock because like a group thing because of COVID, we're slowly starting to like allow like a group of 10 at a time. So anyway, it was like 1 o'clock and we hadn't come up with an activity. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to print off 10 movie posters from the 40s, and I'm just going to give random facts and count down my top 10 movies from the 1940s. And legitimately, the residents loved it. It was actually a super fun time.
Glad that you found a bunch of people who are like you and understood what these movies were. Did you bring up like Social Network or Inception and they got it? Or no?
No, it was the top 10 movies of the 40s.
Oh, okay. So you literally you gave them your top 10 movies from the 1940s and they were just like, oh, yes, I remember seeing this with my pop.
Yes, actually. And one guy kept bringing, we know that I have a problem with correcting people. Like
Very
that's
bad problem. Very, very bad problem with correcting people.
One person kept bringing up movies that were released in like the 70s and asking why they weren't on the list, and it was so hard not to just be like, well, they didn't come out in the 1940s.
But Pop, they didn't come out in the 1940s. That's also mean. But no, that sounds like it's perfect, like right up your alley.
Yeah, it was actually super fun. We also had smoothies today, so
well, that's fun. Nothing really new with me, except if you're watching this video and actually looking at the screen, you see that I now have pink hair. Well, not necessarily pink; it's rose gold. I put pink in with the blonde, so it's different. I was kind of tired of just bland blonde. Have I ever told you?
Gold? Wasn't rose gold the color of the iPhone that no one wanted?
My mom has a rose gold iPhone.
Well, at least your mom loves you.
No, I don't know if I've ever told you why I dye my hair.
I don't think you have, actually.
Okay, so I dyed if anyone knows, I dyed my entire hair like blue in March. And a lot of people are like, are you having a crisis? Are you okay? Did you have an emotional breakdown? The answer is all 7 of those responses at once. No, I just kind of wanted to, because like my hair has always been my thing. And it's like, I wanted to do something with it that I wanted to do and stop doing, like, I wanted something that was just for me. So I made my hair blue. And then I had to immediately go back on that because my friend Steven got married. Hi, Steven. I know you listen. And his request was, can you not have blue hair for the wedding? So I went blonde, and now I'm rose gold because I told him the day after the wedding I would dye it. And then 3 months passed. And I was like, you know what? I haven't dyed my hair yet. So I'm going to dye my hair rose gold. But I like it. That's my biggest development change. So last time I believe we started with what the number 1 song was on this day in a certain year. I asked you for a given year. You chose 1999. So the songs that were number 1 on September 29th, 1999, the number 1 song in the UK and the US usually coincide. This time they do not. So the number 1 song in the UK is by a little group. You may have heard them called Eiffel 65, called Blue Dabba Dee.
Because of course it is.
Of course it is. It was my anthem for about the first half of the year. It was that's also the number 1 song for Italy.
Well, yeah, that's because they're an Italian band. Even though their name is Eiffel 65, it makes no sense that band is actually Italian.
Fair. And then we'll jump around over. UK and Canada had the same one because duh. Or sorry, not UK. Australia and Canada have the same one, which I'll walk that one back. I can't read flags. Lou Bega's Mambo Number 5.
Okay, another classic one-hit wonder of 1999. Like 1999 might be one of the greatest years for like amazing one-hit wonders ever.
I trust you on this because you are the one-hit wonder connoisseur. We have done many a behind-the-scenes fun music trivia night, and you will always go, can I make 1995 to 2015 one-hit wonders a strength? And I was like, I don't care, Boatman. I don't care. I was asking for Panic at the Disco. But no, I swear, if Brooklyn ever did one, you would probably play in it and win. And the U.S., taken from the band's third studio album, Fan Mail, was the group's fourth U.S. number one single. It's TLC's Unpretty.
Okay, I understand why that was a hit, because TLC was like the biggest thing from what I hear in like the late 90s. My sister was obsessed with them. But at the same time, Unpretty is like probably the fourth most popular TLC song at this point. Like,
that's fair. I mean, it does say it is their number one hit, or their fourth number one.
Obviously, the most famous. Then,
obviously.
And then Scrubs, and then Creep, and then Unpretty.
Absolutely. So famous birthdays. The other one we do to kick things off. I wish we did this on September 25th because my famous person who was born on September 25th was my mom. But she shares a birthday with so many more cooler people than me. Like, it's literally Mark Hamill and Will Smith and Donald Glover. Like, all the people that I really like were born on the same day as my mom. I was like, my mom's got a great day.
I share a birthday with Bela Lugosi and Snoop Dogg.
Why does that perfectly summarize who you are as a person?
I don't know if I read that perfectly.
I think it fits. You're Bela Lugosi's interpretation of Snoop Dogg.
That's fair.
Now you got me curious.
I would be Snoop Dogg, but without the drugs. But Bela Lugosi was also a drug addict, so that's the one thing that I don't have that those two have.
That's fair. I share my birthday with Ed Harris, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Karen Gillan, Jon Stewart, but not the one that that I know from comics, Alfonso Cuarón, two-time Oscar winner.
I love the fact that you had to clarify when you say Jon Stewart, like,
it's the political talk show host and writer-director, not the comic book character.
As if 99% of the people watching don't think of the Daily Show guy as opposed to the Green Lantern.
It's opposed to the Green Lantern, right? I'm the one in the minority treating everyone like they're the stupid ones. And the I forgot about this. Is actually a cool story. So the other was Judd Nelson, but this is an actual fun one. I once looked up, famous people that were born in North Dakota, and there's not a lot of people born in North Dakota. But you know the name Alan Richson, right?
We've talked about this. I know I've heard that name. I need to look.
So he plays one of the Ninja Turtles in the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles. He's Hawk on Titans.
Oh, it's this guy. Yes, I know who you're talking about now.
So he was born in Grand Forks, North Dakota.
That is where you live.
That's where I live. On November 28th, my birthday, 1989. Which is like, I was like, that is insane that he was probably born in the same hospital as me, just a certain number of years apart from me is wild. You know what I mean?
That's a little bit terrifying.
Right? I think that is so weird.
Are you going to grow up and become a Ninja Turtle?
No, I'm probably going to grow up and be like the guy from Tron who grew up an hour away from me. An hour north in a town we all hate called Roseau, Minnesota. We all hate Roseau, and he's from Roseau. We all hate Garrett Hedlund. No, we don't. But he's the worst part of Tron Legacy. Okay, sorry. We totally derailed. September 28th, famous birthdays. I don't know most of these people. I'm hoping you'll know some of them. So the one that I know that you don't know, number 37, he turned 28, football player Tyler Lockett from the Seattle Seahawks.
I do know the phrase lock it, hop it, polka dot it, country slide it, hip hop. Do you know what I'm referencing right
I hate you and I love you all at once. It's the Hoedown Throwdown.
The Hoedown Throwdown from the cinematic classic Hannah
Hannah
Montana.
Montana. Number 34, pop singer St. Vincent turned 38.
I'm familiar with them vaguely.
Same. Number 28, passed away in 2015, is soul singer Ben E. King.
Oh, the Stand By Me guy.
Yeah. We're gonna jump to someone that I think you know. Number 17 on this list turned 52, actress Naomi Watts.
Oh.
Number 14 in popularity turned 26, pop singer Trevor Daniel, but you don't listen to top 40 stations, so it doesn't matter.
I listen to top 40, but it's Iowa top 40, which really means the hit songs from 2018.
That's fair. This guy did a song this year called Falling. That's pretty good. All right. We're in the top 10. Again, how many of these people do you think are YouTube stars?
I will say about 90% Cotton.
This time, it's only 4. The rest are all TV actors or actresses, and 1 is a rapper. Okay. So, number 10, 18, TV actress Isadora Vives.
No idea.
No idea who she is, but apparently she's the 10th most popular person born on this day. Number 9, turned 17, the rapper Q9, which I've never heard of.
I prefer Y2.
So number 8 is the only person on this list besides one more person that I know for a fact you know. They turned 20. The Disney Channel icon that is Frankie Jonas turned 20 years old today.
Also from the Studio Ghibli film Ponyo, where they couldn't get actual Disney Channel stars, so
they got their siblings.
So instead of getting Miley Cyrus and the Jonas Brothers, they got Noah Cyrus and Frankie Jonas.
It's great. I love it. Brenna D'Amico turned 20 today. She's a TV actress. I think I vaguely know that name. I'm just gonna jump to the top 3 because you say you know YouTube stars, or like we pretend to know YouTube stars. So we're gonna start with number 3, who is, I don't know why she's listed really as a TV actress. I guess fair, TV actress, yes, but she's done more. She turns 33. We talked about Disney Channel royalty. Number 3, Hilary Duff.
Oh, also star of the Cheaper by the Dozen films.
Also the star of The Killing of Sharon Tate last year.
I forgot about that.
Remember when that movie came out and everyone was like, why is this coming out the same year as like the 50th anniversary of her death? And then everyone forgot about it because Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was set to come out on the anniversary of her death.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, wild. Number 2, she turns 21, YouTube star Olivia Jade.
No idea.
All right, and number 1, YouTube star turns 38, Rebecca Zamolo.
That name sounds vaguely familiar, and I don't know why.
She is also one half of the YouTube channel Matt and Rebecca.
Okay, then I don't know who it is. I don't know why the name sounded familiar.
I don't know who this is at all, and why are they more popular than Hilary Duff?
Because the world is a cruel place, and they don't respect Lizzie McGuire.
This is true. Do you know who Chili Jimenez is? She's number 5. This is the thing. This is how you know. This is how I know I'm getting old. I don't recognize the famous people on the famous birthdays list anymore.
You know how you know that there's something wrong with the world? That no one respects Cadet Kelly.
Cinematic masterpiece.
What?
Cinematic masterpiece.
No, I'm talking about the actual person, Cadet Kelly. She support our troops. Support Cadet Kelly.
Support Cadet Kelly. What are Disney? Hold on, tangent. Disney Channel original movies that don't get enough love. I'm not talking about the movies. The characters in the movies. Because I'm going to tell you right now. Number 1 with a bullet for me is the main character in Let It Shine.
Well, that's because you are obsessed with the movie Let It Shine.
True, but what I'm specifically going to say is the main character's dad does not get enough credit for being the only sane person in the movie to go, hey, son, maybe don't give up your steady job to pursue backroom battle rap and it's kind of perfect. Honestly,
I love that
we
Disney
make this
Channel,
movie.
like,
We make
legitimately just made 8 Mile.
They made 8 Mile. They made Christian 8 Mile.
That was the era when they were basically just making every movie that they had was basically just another movie but Disney Channel. Lemonade Mouth, Breakfast Club but Disney Channel, Teen Beach Movie, West Side Story meets Last Action Hero but Disney Channel.
Radio Rebel.
Deep Charming, every 90s rom-com but Disney Channel.
Radio Rebel. Perfect.
What?
Radio Rebel. Perfect.
Pump Up the Volume but Disney Channel.
Oh, I've never seen Pump Up the Volume.
It's a Bryan Michaels movie. You wouldn't enjoy it.
Okay. I love that we say these things all the time now nonchalantly. It's just like, oh, it's a Bryan Michaels movie. You wouldn't know it. And everyone here is going to go, who's Bryan Michaels?
The word of the day is boomer.
The 8 or 9 people who cross over from what we normally do to this thing are going to be like, oh, that's funny. And then the 30 people from my real life that listen to this are just like, I don't know who that is or what they're talking about. And we're just like, boomer. Speaking of boomer, this actually doesn't segue at all. I don't know why. I try to make a segue out of it now that I call attention to it. 25 hilarious knockoff brands that aren't fooling anyone. So I'm going to read to you the knockoff, and I want you to try, or what it's knocking off. I want you to try, and with your best Boatman brain, tell me what the knockoff is. Like, I'm going to tell you what they knocked off. You're going to tell me what they knocked it off into, okay? Because you are the best at this. It's a book. It is a knockoff of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Oh, I have to guess what the knockoff is now.
Yeah, I want you to tell me what the knockoff is.
Okay.
It's too easy if we do it the other way.
The Dragon with the Girl Tattoo.
That is correct. And the cover of this book is a dragon with a girl tattooed on his shoulder. It's written by a man named Adam Roberts.
I feel like that's just horrible to someone with dyslexia.
It's true.
I feel like I could feasibly actually make that mistake. The headline says aren't fooling anyone. I feel like I could just see that and not pay close enough attention to it.
All right, so I have an additional hint for this. Alien, and the tagline is, in space, nobody can hear you in space. This is a t-shirt. I don't know if you're going to get this, but I think it's so dumb.
I have no idea. Extraterrestrial.
No, Alan. It says Alan. It says Alan. It's the alien egg, and it says in space, no one can hear you in space.
Alan.
All right. So they ripped off Nutella. What would, if you were making an off-brand remake of Nutella, what would you call it?
Peanut butter but chocolate.
No.
Hazelnut butter.
No. I'll give you another shot. You're trying to still make this look and sound like Nutella, but not name it Nutella.
Okay. New, spelled N-E-W. Help.
They called it Nutmaster.
We're gonna move right on from that one.
It was a Nutella jar. It just says Nutmaster. All right, we're gonna move right on then.
Rated PG.
Okay. It's Nike. It's a glove, and it's Nike that they ripped off. What would you call a Nike ripoff if you're trying to make it as close to Nike as possible?
Nikki.
No. You're close, though. You're on the right track.
Mikey. Mike.
It's Mike. M-I-K-E.
Mike.
Mike. This one...
Can we get that shirt for Mike Hanley?
We should. So This one I legitimately couldn't give you a hint for because there is no hint. Instead, I'm just gonna scar you for life. Mario. This is in Australian Mario is having a bit of a crisis. Is he a koala or is he a video game icon? The world may never know.
Is this what you see before you die?
110%.
Is that what the Babadook really is?
Yes. Okay. These three are all video games titles for a gaming console that is a direct ripoff of the PS4. What are you going to call it if it's not a PS4?
The DS4.
GS4.
Why not call it the DS4? Then you can rip off two systems in one.
You're right. That's smart. And the three options they have are Kika 2020 for soccer, Calling for Duty Secret Operation.
Hello, I'm here to Calling for Duty Secret Operation.
And Need for Street Payback Time.
Is that a Pretty Woman sequel?
Maybe. All right. They ripped off. There's two different pizza joint ripoffs here right next to each other, side by side. One is Domino's, one is Pizza Hut. What would you name your Domino's pizza ripoff?
We call it Checkers.
A Domino Pizza.
Hello, welcome to A Domino Pizza.
And the other one, Pizza Hut. What would you do to make Pizza Hut not Pizza Hut, but still Pizza Hut? Pizza
Tut.
Wrong letter changed. Pizza Hot. H-O-T. Here's the best one.
Hot.
Here's the best one. The North Face. How do you rip off the North Face?
The North Pole.
The huge mountain. Makes no sense. No sense. It's the exact same logo. It just says the huge mountain. Okay. So, okay. When they make a toy, that is very clearly supposed to be something, but they can't call it that thing. Someone did this for Freddy Krueger. What did they name the toy? Like, you know how they have those like Avengers of Justice?
I don't remember what they're called, but it's got like it was like a Justice League.
Yoda on a Hulk. Yeah, Yoda on the Hulk's body and stuff like that.
Yeah, and Shrek was in there, and you've got a Yellow Lightning McQueen. Like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I think Freddy Krueger, we'll call him Jason Voorhees.
Sharp Hand Joe.
Sharp Hand Joe.
So on the PS2, you know how the console said Sony at the top?
Yeah.
All right. What did they change on this controller about Sony in order to make it still their thing?
Did they change one letter?
Phony. They put an F in place of the S and just called it phony.
I appreciate them for at least being honest.
Right? All right, Kit Kat. What did they do to change Kit Kat?
Hit hat.
Cat caught. I just feel like if you say Kit Kat caught, Kit Kat. See, it sounds like you have a stroke. Kit Kat cat caught.
Cat caught.
I don't even want to try to make that.
Did you find my feline? Yes, sir. Cat caught.
Okay. Beats by Dr. Dre, they changed one letter. What is it?
Meets
That's exactly it. Meets by Dr. Dre.
Meets by Dre.
I love it. This one is just too good. I'm going to just show you this one because again, I have no words. You will appreciate this. A lad in a costume. Instead of Aladdin, a lad in a costume.
But it's just a costume. There's no unless you're buying the lad. I'm not.
We don't condone for that.
Nope. Nope. I realized what I said. We're gonna pretend that didn't happen.
So they made a direct ripoff of the movie Up.
I know this. It's like I've seen this, not the movie, but I've seen the poster. It's like Hi or something like that.
What's up? Balloon to the rescue.
What's up? That's what it is.
What? This is I'm just gonna have to show you this one again. I think you need to just run from these stories. This is just a horror movie version of Dory.
No, I know what this is. This is a Finding Nemo was made by the team that made Shark Tale.
This is very true.
It looks like the Shark Tale faces, but you still have the realistic fish bodies, so it's horrifying.
That is just a horror movie version of Nemo, man.
No, I'm pretty sure that's called Jaws.
What do you think they called just a generic rolling pin? These people had the nerve to change the word rolling pin. What do you think they called a rolling pin?
Is rolling pin a copyrighted phrase?
No, so I'm just really baffled. I feel like someone just wrote this on it because they couldn't remember the name rolling pin.
Trolling pin? No idea.
No, movable stick.
It is movable stick. It moves.
Pringle.
Spuddies.
Prongles. They changed Coke, Sprite, and Mountain Dew. What do you think they changed them to?
Okay. Coke becomes Cook.
Well, no, it's Coca-Cola, so you have to do both words.
Oh. Then Coca-Cold, Spite, and Mountain Dude.
So it's Club Cola.
Club Cola.
Right. As in correct. And
R-I-G-H-T.
R-I-G-H-T. And Monsoon Dew.
Why not just call it Mountain Dude?
I know, but all of them are the exact same font type, logo, everything. All right, Thin Mints. What do you think they changed them to make Thin Mints?
Tin Mints. Thick
Mints. This one I'm just going to show you because you're going to get more of a kick out of looking at this one because I did too. It's not so much about what they knocked off. It's about the double knockoff in this visual. Does this look familiar to you?
So I know it's Twister. What's the other one?
Look at the guy with the glasses and the guy that's got the green shirt.
Oh my gosh.
It's Jimmy Neutron characters. They literally put Jimmy Neutron characters into a Twister ripoff called Don't Fall Down. And it's not even like it's not even an attempt to hide it. That is the exact character model for both characters.
Well, Carl Weezer has different hair color, but Sheen is like that's Sheen. Exactly. That's literally Sheen.
They just put Sheen on it. I don't understand. Okay. Transformers.
Transmorphers. I know this one.
No, this is Deformed Car.
Pretty sure that's the plot of Cars 2.
They made a Woody doll ripoff and labeled it Toy Story 5.
Hi there, I'm Toy Story 5. How are you?
And My Little Pony. What do you think they changed My Little Pony to?
Small Horse.
My Lovely Horse. Yeah, makes no sense how any of those people got away with it, but they did enough to get them into stores. You could say they got away with some crap. Speaking of crap, double segue. See me? Call me Paul Blart. I'm just segueing through a mall. And it's also got rated 28% of Rotten Tomatoes. Complaint flushed. No charge in toilet election display. What do those words mean to you?
Can I hear the words again?
Complaint flushed. No charge in toilet election display.
So, okay. So here's what I think happened.
Okay.
There was like a toilet convention, right? Like a plumbing convention, right?
Okay.
And some average Joe, we'll call him Bill. Bill doesn't know where he's at. And he just ate a ton of Taco Bell. There are toilets everywhere. He didn't realize that he wasn't supposed to. Boom, they sue him. The complaint gets flushed, no charge.
So how does election work into this?
He was also running for mayor of Toronto, Canada.
Well, everything you said in that sentence is wrong. This story comes from the Associated Press. Associated Press. From Mason, Michigan.
I think you needed to do more Associated Prep for that.
I did.
You're going to read it like that.
A prosecutor in Michigan has flushed a complaint about a toilet that was promoted as a place to drop absentee ballots. The election clerk in Ingham County informed police about a toilet in the front lawn of a home in Mason near Lansing, where a sign said, "Place mail-in ballots here."
How does that happen? Okay, I want to know. I want to talk to the person who just one day decided, I'm going to put a toilet in my front. Was the toilet already in their lawn? And then they just said, we're going to put the ballots here? Or did they specifically move a toilet into their lawn for this purpose? I need to know.
Well, the story Dickens. I tried to make that work. I'm off my game. Barb Byram, a Democrat, said it's a felony to take illegal possession of absentee ballots, but there was no evidence of an intent to violate Michigan law, said the Office of County Prosecutor Carol Simon? I don't know. Also a Democrat. Instead, this seemed to be an effort to make a humorous political statement, the statement said. Byram, who drives by the home on her way to work, said she didn't see the toilet Tuesday. She said she respects the decision by the prosecutor to add that elections are never a laughing matter. The safety and secure administration of elections is of the utmost importance. She has been critical of, I'm going to not go here, but this is, about 2.4 million Michigan voters so far have asked for absentee ballots. Someone doesn't like the idea of mailing in.
So at first I thought it was a sincere thing and somebody really wanted people to put absentee ballots in there. And now that it's just a joke, I feel like I was lied to.
Boatman would be the person in Michigan who would see the toilet that says put absentee ballots here, who would go, "Oh, sweet, thank you," and just drops it in there thinking that's what he's supposed to do.
I am a very trustworthy person, okay?
Hey, Boatman, if I said gullible was written on the ceiling, would you look?
How do you know what my ceiling looks like?
I've been there.
Oh, yeah. Where'd you see it?
No, this is both of our first election, right? That we get to actually vote in.
I got to vote in midterms. This is my first presidential.
Well, I meant yes, same for me. I meant actual presidential election. This is our first. Okay, so I have watched many elections play out through my town. I because my school would make us do projects where we had to build ballot boxes and run campaigns and stuff to understand the election process. So I did that for my for the McCain-Obama election and then the Obama-Romney when I was at my elementary and middle school. And then the Trump-Clinton one, high school did not care. But they held a mock election so you could feel like you were a part of the process. Each one, none of them got as weird and as heated as this one has. We'll say.
I once helped John Quincy Adams get elected. Fun fact.
Oh, I forgot you're a dinosaur. You've been elected, I believe, at least once, or at least been on the ballot.
Not officially on the ballot, but there was a write-in campaign in 1987. Which is funny because that's not an election year.
I was just going to say, I was pretty sure that you were a part of the Bull Moose Party in like the early 1900s. Pretty sure you founded that.
They're not bull mooses. It's plural, so it's bull meese.
Bull meese. My apologies. Bull meese. I swear. Someone's gonna like listen to this and just be like, "What are they doing?" And it's gonna be like, "We have no idea either. We're as deranged as you." All right. The last thing we have to talk about today. It's gonna be a lot shorter than the last episode. About half the time. We always sort of end up with a movie-related topic before we give each other recommendations of stuff to watch. So the movie news for this week, at least the one big story we have, is I am, of course, a superhero nerd. Always have been. DC has been my thing. I've read so many DC comics. They're the comics that I of preference, of choice. They're my movies of choice. You don't like any of them. That's not true. But you're not a deep-seated comic book movie fan.
I did not grow up on comic books and comic book TV shows and comic book movies in the way that you did. I came to them much later. And I was always more of a Marvel Comics kid than I was a DC Comics kid if I partook in comics.
Right. All right. So this story might mean something to you. It might not. I don't know how familiar you are with the character. But not breaking news, but Aldous Hodge from The Invisible Man has been cast as Hawkman in the Black Adam film. The article here says that the Justice Society of America is coming together as Black Adam continues to cast up, and that Aldous Hodge has joined the cast of Jami Colette Serra's Black Adam as the hero Hawkman. And during DC Fandom, Dwayne Johnson teased that his character Teth Adam, aka Black Adam, will face off against Justice Society members Hawkman, Dr. Fate, Cyclone, and Atom Smasher, who they already have cast Atom Smasher as Noah Centineo. Noah Centineo.
They're putting Noah Centineo in this. Do you know who
he is Atom Smasher? No, I do not.
He's the guy from all those Netflix original movies, like To All the Boys I Loved Before, and like he's just in like a million of them. Okay,
so he's basically been like the Netflix.
He's the
passion hot boy.
He's the Netflix equivalent of like a Joe Jonas.
Okay, I'm looking at a picture of him now. Yeah,
or a Ross Lynch.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, I think that's weird casting. I mean, I could be wrong. So I'm just curious, how familiar are you with the Justice Society, Black Adam, all of that?
I know very little. Is Black Adam and he's a Shazam villain, right?
He is Shazam's biggest villain, yes.
Okay. So is Shazam going to be in this movie?
No. So here's the story is that they are building up to Shazam 3 being Black Adam versus Shazam, and that Shazam 2 will set up for Shazam 3, and Black Adam will set Black Adam up for Shazam 3, and they're building to the finale of the trilogy being Black Adam versus Shazam. But The Rock is saying that Black Adam is more of an anti-hero than a villain, which is true. It is true.
Does he rob a store?
Yes. He actually takes over an entire country and rules it on his own.
Well, if he technically rules
and then partakes in World War III.
So is he kind of like the Doctor Doom of the DC universe in that sense?
Yes, but he's a lot more morally ambiguous than Doctor Doom. Because Doctor Doom is kind of out and out bad guy. Mm-hmm. Black Adam is a lot more morally gray. But the Justice Society are also big enemies of his, and they are also the most Boatman superhero team of all time. So the Justice Society is a team of heroes that come together in the 1940s. During World War II. And they are the definition of stereotypical 40s comic book characters. So they're bringing together this team. Hawkman is the leader of the team. Hawkman is... do you know who Hawkman is in general?
I know what he looks like. I know his costume. He like carries a mace, right?
Correct.
Okay,
and has wings.
that's about all I know about Hawkman. That's it.
Okay, so Hawkman is a reincarnated Egyptian prince. So Hawkman and Hawkgirl are I guess now Hawkwoman. They keep changing back and forth between the two. I think right now she's Hawkwoman. But Carter Hall and Kiara Saunders, they keep changing the name also. Are two Egyptian sort of royals that aliens technology crashes from an actual planet of hawk people called Thanagar. And it crashes and they touch it and it causes them to be reincarnated from life to life. And they have these abilities of hawk people. So what happens is they get murdered. And then in the present day, they are superheroes and they reconnect to try and fall in love. But Hawkman retains the memories every time. Hawkgirl doesn't. So he has to try and convince her every time that they were in love and all this stuff, right? So most of my knowledge actually comes from the arc that they do in the Justice League show, which is actually a really, really, really great arc. But he is the lead of this team. That includes Atom Smasher, who is Giant Man if he were Russian and could only get big. Very over the top, like, hello, I am Russian Sergei Gonpunch. And then Dr. Fate, who is
I know the name Dr. Fate. Why do I know that?
Dr. Strange is like a direct ripoff of this character. He wears blue and has this gold helmet and does a lot of magic stuff.
Okay, was he in Batman the Brave and the Bold?
Yes, I believe he was. Yes, he was a character that was in Batman the Brave and the Bold. And then Cyclone, who is very throwaway. There's a lot of Justice Society members that they aren't bringing into this yet, which makes me mad, or not mad, but sad, because the original Flash and Green Lantern are a part of this team. So Alan Scott and Jay Garrick are founders of this team also. And that's
Justice Society almost feels like it's kind of supposed to be the Worlds of DC equivalent of Guardians of the Galaxy.
That would actually be a very brilliant usage of them, but they're doing that with the Suicide Squad. But the Justice Society is a thing that DC has never really known what to do with. They have it, and then they throw it away. And then they have it, they throw it away. Then they retcon it as they're part of Earth 2, and then they retcon it back into being the past of the universe, that this is a team that exists in the 40s and still exists today, maybe. But somehow they're over 100 years old, and there's Old Man Flash and Grade Green Lantern still running around somewhere, but we don't talk about it. They hate it because it makes the DC universe have age, and they don't like that. That's why DC also hates Dick Grayson, which I don't get why. I get why. It's because it means that Batman is old enough to have a full adult Robin who's now on his own, which they don't like, which means Batman's been doing this for at least 10 years. And that makes them mad that Batman has age. But anyway, the movie is making the Justice Society the villains.
Oh.
They're doing a villain movie for the perspective of the villain, where the heroes that you would traditionally see be the good guys are the villains. And it's going to be very interesting to see how they do that. But they casted a really cool Hawkman. Aldous Hodge is really good in The Invisible Man. But that's the big casting news. You said you had thoughts on a Hawkman appearance.
Okay, so before you described that, what Hawkman was, my original argument, because I didn't know this was part of the Black Adam movie. I thought they were just making a Hawkman movie, and my thing was, does anyone like Hawkman? But
No.
now that they're making him the villain, I like this story idea. I'm kind of on board now. You kind of convinced me that this might actually work.
It could work. I'm very interested in the idea of doing... I think The Rock is perfect casting for Black Adam. I think he's an excellent choice.
Honestly, I love the idea of seeing The Rock play
a villain. I think he can crush it. My problem is I don't know why we're making a movie about the villain from the perspective of the villain, where we're going to sympathize with him before we get him to be the villain. You know what I mean?
It might be a case of Joker, where they actually, hopefully, they actually commit to he is a villain, he's the bad guy, but we're also showing you he has sympathetic motivations. He's just going the wrong way about it. Or what they might do is they started off and he's more anti-hero, and these movies are going to be his journey into the full villainous. It's more about the story of his corruption. Also like Joker.
That could be cool. Yeah, Black Adam's just not a character that could sustain a movie. Unless you want to know how you make a Black Adam movie? I'm gonna go Koho pitch time. Free ideas for the internet. There was a comic book story arc that went an entire year.
I would like to point out David I.R. White is listening.
He is listening. There's a storyline in DC that I would really like to do. So they did, to give you a quick abridged history of DC Comics. In the 80s, they did this thing called Crisis on Infinite Earths to consolidate all their multiple Earths into being one. In about 2004, 5, 6, they did Infinite Crisis to reverse this. And it was a direct sequel that brought back the multiverse. At the end of this, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman retire for an entire year. And they did not appear in any comic books for an entire publishing year. They did an entire ongoing series called 52 in that time, a weekly series that was about the DC universe in a world where Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman are not around. And the world goes to hell. And it's like a great year-long story where, like, the Question... do you know who the Question is? I don't know if you recognize
who Rorschach is based on, right?
Yes. The Question is one of the main characters. He gets cancer, and he trains Renee Montoya to become the next Question. Booster Gold is trying to become the new Superman, the new face of the community, and his robot, Skeet, that he's had for 30 years is revealed to be evil and is actually using the time travel to wreck the past. But the big storyline is Black Adam takes over the world because there's a whole thing, and World War III starts, and Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman are not around to help. So World War III is a major piece of this, and that's where Black Adam plays a major part as, like, people attack Kahndaq, they kill his wife, and they kill a bunch of people around him, so he basically starts World War III because people hurt him. And this is all going on over the span of 52 weeks in DC Comics, and it's all set within 1 year, and the run ends with Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman coming back. And all their individual stories then dealt with the fallout of this, where you find out that Batman left a reformed Harvey Dent in charge of Gotham. And halfway through the year, he turned back into Two-Face and killed a lot of Batman's villains. And that storyline's called Face the Face, and that one's really good. But yeah, like the 52 would be a really cool idea to adapt into a TV show. Like, to do a 52 episode long TV series, each episode dealing with a week in the DC universe in a world where Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman are not on active duty, and to see what all their worlds look like, because Batman literally takes all the Robins with him and they just ditch Gotham, and Superman just up and leaves, and Wonder Woman up and leaves, and this is what the world looks like without the three strongest superheroes in the world on active duty. And it, like, World War III breaks out, Hawkman punches Black Adam really hard in the face. Like, it's like a lot of cool stuff like that that I think they could totally pull off in a show. That's where I think Black Adam works best, is when he's like Magneto, because I just watched Apocalypse again today and they kill his wife and kids, and it's like, oof, sad moments, and now I want you to kill everyone. And then he doesn't do anything.
I'm sad we never got a movie where, like, where Michael Fassbender's Magneto just got to be the full villain.
Right. I think the closest we get to him being the full villain is Days of Future Past.
But even then, he's not the full villain.
He's not.
Like, for 75% of the movie, he's with them, and then it's like the last fourth.
Right. And
like for most of the movie, they're looking for Mystique. She's more of the villain of that movie than he is.
Right, and then in Apocalypse, he is a henchman for a villain that sucks. And then in Dark Phoenix, he's a plot device, kind of. Like, the thing is, like, they could have totally made... I wish the last movie... Like, okay, if you're doing this thing right, I wouldn't change a thing except erase Origins Wolverine from existence. And you do this exactly the same way, but you change Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix entirely. Rewrite them or write them out. But what you do is you make Days of Future Past the last movie. Like, Days of Future Past should be how you end the X-Men universe. Imagine Deadpool showing up in Days of Future Past in the future and being a part of it. Like, slot in place of Warpath, Deadpool. Like, and then, like, in different parts, you can, like, fix like, when they show in the flashbacks, he sees like Stryker, and when they flash back at his brain, he sees Brian Cox, the X2 version, and he knows that the one that he sees there is going to become the person who hurts him. Like, imagine that whole full circle thing where it's like everything coming together in one big endgame style way that puts the timeline in order for one final thing. Like, and then imagine, instead of it being this dumb, like Professor X, Magneto, whatever, Trask is only the villain for the first third, maybe the first 2/3, and then Magneto's the villain for the second half, where Michael Fassbender is the problem that they have to solve, and he's like, and that's where the relationship developed, and that's the break where when we like full circle back to the first X-Men, it's why they're not friends, like, and that's how it full circles everything to that one big moment where like this is the last thing you need to understand the entire story.
That's perfect.
Right. And then you end it, because when you end it in the future, everything works out fine and everyone's alive and well and happy, and Jean is still alive and she's with Scott and everything works out. And in the past, we leave it with Professor X and Magneto are not friends. They are not going to reconcile, and that's where we leave them until the first X-Men movie. And like that, I feel like that works, but you could have also always continued filling in the gaps between them, and they can't let the X-Men cash cow ever stop.
Yeah.
But like, imagine one of those movies just actually being the moment where they like the Civil War moment where he's like, my dad made that shield, throws it back to him. You don't belong. That's not your shield. Like, imagine that moment between them. Like, I just think the X-Men franchise is a big misfire with a lot of really good movies and a lot of really great moments that don't work because they didn't do it right.
I feel like the X-Men movies in general are just always kind of playing catch up to themselves.
Exactly. Where it's like, oh, well, we made this movie and this first movie was good. We made 2, we made 3, and the 3 didn't like. So we made an Origins prequel. People hated that. It didn't actually happen. So now we're going to make a prequel to the first one. And now that we're going to make a Wolverine movie that takes place after Last Stand, oh no, now we need to reconcile the 2 timelines, so let's put them together. Oh, we should have waited, because now we have 3 more movies with this new young cast to try and get back to where we were. And it's like, no, stop it. But then they give up, and they're like
every X-Men movie they think is going to be their last one they make.
Exactly.
Like, it feels like that show that's always on the verge of getting canceled, but doesn't. So every final episode of a season feels like it could be the series finale because they're not certain if it's going to be or not.
Exactly. It's like X-Men First Class treats it very much like this is a direct prequel to 2000's X-Men because we're not making another one. And it literally ends with him wearing the helmet, the exact Ian McKellen helmet, and going, call me Magneto. The end. And it's like, cool. And then they make Days of Future Past, and it's like, oh, this is even better. Let's put it all together. And then Apocalypse, and you're like, wait, hold on. So we're going to trot out their biggest villain after Days of Future Past, but before the first X-Men movie? Now, how does this fit? Wait, what? Now they saw each other when they were younger. What's going on? And everyone's like, well, Days of Future Past created a divergent timeline. This just hurts my brain.
You know what I'm sad that we never got and never will get? What I wanted just once was for Mystique to like do her transformation things, and she turns into like an old man. Who plays the old man? Stan Lee. I wanted the Stan Lee cameo to be, oh, it's Stan Lee playing Mystique.
Honestly, one of the best things they could have done. I guarantee you if Stan Lee was still here, they would do that in the MCU.
Yeah.
But like all of Stan Lee's cameos in the X-Men canon is him standing in fear of one of the mutants. Like, I literally noticed that the first one, he's watching Senator Kelly melt on the beach while eating a hot dog. And then he's like watering his garden and the hose goes straight up and he's like, what? And then in Apocalypse, he's watching Apocalypse destroy the world and he's like, what?
Yeah.
It's like all 3 of those. It's just like,
it's because they're not really creative cameos. Stan Lee didn't really get creative cameos until Fantastic Four. That's kind of the first, like.
Yeah. Tim's story was like, we have Stan Lee, make him Willie Lumpkin. Make him this throwaway character from X-Men lore that doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And then make him Stan Lee in the next one.
Yeah. I'm Stan Lee. Yeah, right.
Who? Which there's that in and of itself, that's a world-breaking thing. I don't get it. Well, how does that work? Stan Lee created the Fantastic Four, so the Fantastic Four are having a wedding, and Stan Lee is showing up to the wedding. Wait, what? So does that mean in that world that he saw the Fantastic Four and wrote biographical comic books of their exploits instead of creating them.
I'd like to point out that Stanley makes a cameo in Princess Diaries 2, The Royal Engagement, as a wedding guest.
It's a great cameo.
I'd like to think that those two are connected somehow.
It's true.
But I'm not sure how.
I don't know how. I wish every single thing he ever appeared in was the same. Like Princess Diaries 2 is in the MCU.
Just Guardians of the Galaxy 2. He's the Watcher.
Okay, but I'm saying like I want the actual like imagine the country from Princess Diaries 2 being an MCU country.
Imagine a Stan Lee movie.
I mean, we'll get a Stan Lee biopic someday, but an actual Stan Lee movie where he plays himself going through all the worlds that he saw. Imagine a Stan Lee movie where you got to see every movie that he cameoed in from the perspective of his cameo.
That would have been amazing.
It would have been the best movie ever. Where like you, from the perspective of Stan Lee, see Captain Marvel on the train while he reads the script. In the Avengers, you see him play. You are playing chess when the world ends. In The Amazing Spider-Man, you're just stamping books and you don't notice Spider-Man is fighting right behind you. In like every cameo from his perspective is the same person, and to justify like writing the storyline that basically connects every scene and situation he's in together to make sense would be the greatest thing ever, and I would watch that movie daily.
It would be amazing.
How does he go from being like he has to actually just be Stan Lee in every movie? Like he would just have to be himself as Stan Lee, and his name is Stan Lee and everything. But in the movies where he isn't Stan Lee, he has to still be Stan Lee. They just don't know his name and made up a name for him on the spot, and he just accepted it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, one day Stan Lee has to work 80 jobs to make life work. So he's like a FedEx driver, and he works for NASA. And then he got invited to a wedding in this foreign country, so he's just there. And he also still writes comic books, which is why he's in this mall in New Jersey. And that, like, you just connect. But then that mall in New Jersey had a movie made about it. So, and they want him to be in it. So he reads the script for it, and he's reading the script on the train for it while he's in LA. And while he's there, aliens show up on Earth. And it's just like, you have to connect all of it and have it make sense. Like, imagine, and the thing is, you can actually still make that work.
That everything he writes in his comic books comes true.
Can we just make a Being John Malkovich style movie?
Yes, please.
Okay, but here's the thing. You could make this work have you ever read the book Marvels?
No.
Like the comic Marvels. So the comic Marvels is this photographer who is there for the birth of the Marvels, or the superheroes of the Marvel Universe, from Captain America and the original Human Torch all the way through to the death of Gwen Stacy. So 1940 to 1970 something, this book covers. And it's this photographer who is just there for all of it, and his perspectives and his impressions of the Marvels. It's a pretty good book. Do that as a comic book with Stan Lee for all his cameos. That's what I'm saying. Make that.
That could work.
It would make bank and advertise.
We spent 20 minutes of this show talking about comic books, and I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that. And you know what? I think everyone else at home is okay with that. So thank you guys for tuning in to, once again, the Not Morning Show. I'm Kaleb Koho.
I'm Kaleb Boatman.
And as always, have a great day. Drive safely. Be excellent to each other. And in case we don't see you, good afternoon.
Good evening.
And good night.